Hello, friends. How are you today? Well, I have an amazing video for you today. It's amazing information, and this thumbnail just sums it up. I called this the first human city. And I'll show you why I did that based on the images in the Schumann chart. So first, if you could like the video and subscribe, that would be wonderful. And if you could share this video if you like the information, that would really help me. I really appreciate it. So I'm looking at the big, incredible chart from this week, February 23rd and 24th. And I'm going to look at the numbers another time because the images are so striking. And I think that the images convey so much information that I just want to focus on that. So this is the Schumann Resonance. It's in the air around us, non-physically. This resonance is in a hertz range of 0 to 40 hertz. That is the same hertz range as human brainwaves. So I read this as a map of human consciousness. And I read it as, in addition, what is affecting our human consciousness. Because as far as I'm concerned, it's like us humans, we put this up as a way of, engaging with each other, of telling our stories. And the images, to me, tell many stories. Now, could it just be that there's a transmission at 2.5 hertz and the chart picks it up? Of course. Of course that's the case, and I do believe those things are also on the chart, including whatever other natural sources create this. But the fact is, and I have many videos on this in the beginner playlist, but the fact is that it does seem to be integral with something about humanity. So let's look at the images and see. So there were these three images, this one here, this one, and this one. Now this image here looks so much in terms of its energy like the technology image that we saw on January 9th. I have a Substack post on that and a video post on it. There were again 3 images that day. And there were all these vertical lines in the chart. So I have several videos on that if you want to explore all that information. Now, when I looked at this, it's so interesting. Look at what this image looked like. Give me one sec. I got to find it here. My list of images, my long list. Here it is. All right. So what I did was I removed all the spacing and put it together, because what I sort of perceived was that in this strange spacing here, this broken up spacing, it's like something was attempting to be communicated. We were by the human collective to itself, but we're getting interference, right? It's broken up. And maybe the fact that it's broken up is part of the message, or that we wish to have it broken up, but it creates this very much jail-like or fence-like structure. And look at what's in the middle. That looks like an eye to me. Now, this is obviously an intuitive reading of the chart. When you flip it up and down, it certainly does look like the entrance to a great jail or a prison. It also looks to me, again, like a technology. I talked a lot about that in the Substack. And in the Substack, what I said was it didn't seem very human-friendly, and I give a warning about the whatever this is in the about the energy of it. So anyway, let's see here. Here's the next image. Okay, the next image is is this right here. That was really fascinating, wasn't it? The way that the line lit up at 20 hertz and all of these other horizontal hertz. And look, the thin, you have, 1 pixels of vertical line lit up here, or 2 pixels or 3 pixels. It's extremely detailed, the way the energy is expressing. So This is when I doubled the image, because I like to double them to see what more it might say. And then sometimes I reverse it and wow, look at this. This is an image worth meditating with. It's just incredible. It just lifts you up, doesn't it? And now I had someone helping with me earlier today, and what she said was, this looks like a city. And I was like, oh my goodness, you're right. It looks like a beautiful city, like the city of our dreams, like the future that we hope for. So let me show you something else about that in a minute. But first we have to look at the third image here, this strange third image. And when you put the third image together, I did it two different ways, okay? First, I put the whole image together, and it looked like this, and I thought, wow, that looks like something from Star Trek, like a ship, like a Romulan ship, or they has like the thrusters on the side, and then here's the center, and I don't know, some kind of something. Maybe it's shooting out beams. Then I did it this way. Hold on, is that different? Yeah, I took out some of the middle. And it's much more clear, right? The ship aspect is much more clear. But then I took out the surrounding image of green and blue, and I got this. Oh, wait, hold on. I got this. And it's weird because all this third image, it all looks like some kind of insect head. See, look at here. That's the thing. Once my helper told me that she saw the head of an ant or an insect. I was like, oh, for goodness sakes, now I can't unsee that. And look at this. There's literally a perfect circle right in the center of the head. And in my view, there's also an X. The X, look, it's right here, right in the center of the circle. So it looks like this. So I thought that was fascinating because I couldn't unsee this. Look at the mandible. I mean, that is an insect mouth. And then you've got, the dark eyes here. And then I don't know if these are horns here. But anyway, like I said, this is an intuitive reading, but you can see the face, can't you? And so that's what's in these three images. Right? The strange technology, the amazing vision of the future, of a future city, and this strange insect-like, mandible-like, or possibly a cool technology. So let's take a look and put these images together. So the first thing I did was put this image together, and my friend who was helping me said, you know what, it looks, at first I thought this was another technology in the sky, and then she put it down here as a city. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so perfect. So we have a technology in the sky and a city. And here's another version of it, and there you can really see the mandible in this one. And the X, the circle and the X. And that's when I realized that to have the first human city, something about this technology needs to change. Something about this insect energy needs to change. And that's when I realized, let me see where I have this stuff. I got it all set up. Here we go. That's when I realized, because I thought, does this look like a Romulan bird of prey, like from Star Trek? And then in the Romulan ships, okay, if you look at it, it's an extended neck. This is like a Romulan bird of prey with its head up its ass, okay? And you really have to unfuck it, excuse me, and then because the triangle here, this triangle shape is what the bottom of those ships look like on Star Trek, and then it has the propulsion on the left and the right. But then it's like the neck is folded over in half. Instead of being here where it's supposed to be. And I realized that, and then when I thought about folding over, I thought about all the talk about folded over proteins and spike proteins, and I'm not I'm not into medicine, but I sure have read a lot and watched a lot of videos over the past few years, and it seemed like maybe something about this insect was related to something about the messed up health that we have. And therefore, the insect energy is not a good thing. And that to undo that and to have the right high technology for humanity, that influence essentially needs to be canceled out. And this is the story I'm seeing on the Schumann. And once we cancel out that technology, once we unfuck it, excuse my language, then I think we create an advanced technology that supports something amazing, right? And that's when I realized that the message of the center image, this is a cross. I mean, this is the Christian cross in the center, the very center. And it's not a maybe, it's there. And then, you've got two here, really. You've got the hint of two crosses here as well. So you've got three crosses with the dominant one in the center, just like the story of Jesus' crucifixion. He was in the dominant one on the center, and there were one on each side, two criminals. And one criminal repented, and the other one did not. And so what I realized was that the message I feel from February 23rd on the Schumann is this: to have the first true human city free of the influence of, I'm just going to say the quote-unquote bugs, whatever the force is that has been set itself upon our societies, whether it's expressed as, sociopaths and psychopaths, whether it's expressed in the non-physical as, the demonic, and then there are people who choose to, in a space of sacred discharge imbued by the violet flame, are just going to invoke a sacred space and a space of burning up that energy. So people who choose to align themselves with this, because there's a lot of those, okay? They really, this is one of the ways of being. And, or whether it's something else, whether it's people making poor choices out of ignorance, human beings making poor choices out of ignorance and fear and anger. To have the first human city requires us to turn to God. It's based in our divinity. It's based in the divine that we are. That's how we create the first truly human city. That's how we claim back the future as ours.